kid. But I'm starting point guard. Tomorrow I'm a coach. It feels like you're kind of skipping a step. Joanne has put in step, step, step. I think it's great. And I'm not anti-player being coach, but when I see guys retire and an hour later they're in a play, like coaching's hard, and he'll have to figure out some recruiting stuff. But this is a guy, I called somebody last night, dude has put in the time.
He's absolutely putting the time on the coaching end of it, but the recruiting thing to me is not that is very overblown. I think the whole recruiting environment has evolved tremendously over the last 20 years. This whole idea that you have to go in there with your suit on and talk to the parents and tell them about a good education or whatever the idea of recruiting is, doesn't exist anymore. Look at Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway has the #1 recruiting class in the country at Memphis, and everyone thought that hire was ridiculous with Penny Hardaway. He's proved everyone wrong. I mean, coaching is obviously a big part of this, but recruiting is #1 in college. You have to get the kids there, and he's getting kids from all over the country to go to Memphis. One, obviously because he's Penny Hardaway, but you have to be able to relate to kids, and you have to have a hand in the grassroots culture of basketball, AAU, and the grassroots circuit. And that is a big deal in college basketball now. So hiring former players in this position is a big deal.
Chris Webber will join us top of next hour. So C-Web, part of the amazing Fab Five. And if you're 20 years old, you didn't see the Fab Five, the only way I can explain it, it was... this past Duke team that had a bunch of guys, it was like that, but they were culturally different. And the baggy shorts, it was the most talked about college basketball team maybe ever. I mean, in my lifetime, I'm not saying the best, I'm saying the most...
No, they were incredibly
culture-altering college basketball program, Fab Five, and the relationships with all those guys in Michigan have been spotty since then.
Yes, but their reputation lives on, and they were incredibly important to the culture. So the NBA's all-defensive teams were announced yesterday. Rudy Gobert, Paul George, Giannis, Marcus Smart, and Eric Bledsoe were selected for the first team. Yeah. But there was one very interesting player who received some votes. James Harden got 2 votes, and they were both for... first team.
Was that Daryl Morey voting twice?
I don't know. It's very interesting. When you look at the list, though, I mean, obviously Patrick Beverley makes sense to get several votes for first team all defense. That's a no-brainer there.
So who was the starting 5 again?
Rudy Gobert, Paul George, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Marcus Smart, and Eric Bledsoe.
What about Kawhi?
I did think it was interesting that Kawhi did not
Marcus Smart
make it.
Yeah, Kawhi would be on my...
I mean, Kawhi was out for a lot of games, too, so maybe voters held that against him or something. I thought that was interesting as well.
Rudy Gobert's just as good as it gets. So most of those guys make total sense.
No. The first team makes sense, of course. But the other votes are kind of interesting as well. Russell Westbrook also got some votes, too.
Russell's a better defender than James.
Yes.
Westbrook can defend when he wants to. When Russell's into it, he can defend because Russell's strong.
Yes.
If Russell gets up in you,
relentless.
Yeah, Westbrook gets up in you, he can defend. Drew Holiday's another guy. I don't know if he made it. Drew Holiday's another guy that physically, if he gets up in you defensively, he can push you around.
No, Drew Holiday's a good player. Yeah. Finally, Kyrie Irving is a top free agent this summer, and there's a strong sense that his days with the Celtics are over. If he does leave Boston, a reunion with LeBron in LA seems to still be on the table. Here's Brian Windhorst on Kyrie's options in free agency.
If you'd asked me 6 months ago, Sage, I'd have said the door was closed and locked. That was not going to happen. But over the last few months, there has no doubt been a thawing between Kyrie and LeBron, and Kyrie has become to be more open to joining the Lakers and has done some research on the organization. That said, with Magic leaving, that was a guy that he felt a connection to, and with the great opportunities in Brooklyn and in New York, plus Boston trying to keep him, I think the Lakers are lower on his list, but they're on his list, and that gives them a fighting chance.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, but I have said this. When Kyrie left LeBron, my takeaway was Kyrie's career pre-LeBron, and I was injured a lot and a little bit of a diva. I thought they worked together great.
I did too, and I don't know. I could kind of see this happening. I know that there's a lot of options out there.
I know.
And that report that, teams are kind of backing off of Kyrie, I don't believe for a second. Kyrie is a superstar. He had a bad series. It wasn't working in Boston for lots of different reasons. But
listen, man, Kyrie's more of a 1B. And I think with LeBron, LeBron overwhelms the room. And I get Kyrie at the time was like, okay, But you can't tell me these two on the floor late in quarters, late in sets, late in games didn't work together.
Well, if their relationship is fully repaired, because there were some things that made him want to leave LeBron, not just like him not wanting to be number 2. And I think that everything that happened in Boston could have been a wake up call. Like, hey, we had a good thing going here. Like this worked. We played off each other well and had success. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I think that Kyrie is a smart guy, and every situation, while it might be the opportunity to be the guy, might not be the best situation to win championships, as we know. So I think this could be in play.
Exciting. Joy with the news.
Well, that's